Jean Patou used to be a massive perfume brand. It has since discontinued all of its perfumes, although you can still find Jean Patou fragrances, you know, online from third-party resellers and stuff like that. I have reviewed three separate Jean Patou fragrances in the past: Sublime, Joy, and 1000. And while this brand has produced other, you know, perfumes in its lifetime, those three are kind of the top, you know, cream of the crop sort of thing. And a lot of people might wonder, you know, which one should I get? Is one better than the other? You know, are they all the same, or are they just slightly different, or are they drastically different? So in this video I'm going to tackle kind of the big differences between these three perfumes, Jean Patou perfumes. So we'll start with the big one, the giant of the Jean Patou line, which is Joy. Here, the luxurious bottle inside. So I'm starting with Joy because it has just a long history. It came out in 1930, the beginning of the Great Depression. The reason why Joy is so prominent is because it was marketed as the most expensive perfume in the world, and for that reason it was obviously a very luxury, high-end sort of fragrance. Every woman back then wanted to get her hands on Joy, just because it's kind of a way to show off, really. You know, I can afford Joy, the most expensive perfume in the world. And even after 1930, it continued to be extremely popular. It was a favorite of Jackie Kennedy, of all people, among many other rich and famous women, I'm sure. It was also a favorite of my grandmother's. She would wear it on occasion, sparingly. It's not as expensive as it used to be. It kind of lost its big title, but besides that, it has some very nice notes. Let's see if I can open this thing. And here's the dabbing stick, I'll put it on. So the cool thing about this perfume is that it is really a time capsule from the past. And you could smell that as soon as you put it on, because it has those immediate kind of musky notes along with some floral notes, but really goes straight into the warm kind of musk. Not overpowering, not like skunky or not civety or anything. This is just really nicely balanced. You could tell it's a luxurious scent, and it's just nice. You know, it's not too overpowering. It does have a lightness despite those musky notes. The lightness comes from the floral notes. I think it has withstood the test of time, and it's still a pretty popular fragrance today. Maybe not as popular as it once was, but it definitely still has an air of class and high quality and stuff like that. And I'm not sure how much it is usually priced today. I would say a few $100s probably, but besides that, it's a nice general. You could wear this during the day, you could wear this in the evening. You could pretty much get away with wearing this whenever you want, so that's another benefit. It's also pretty long lasting. I think probably because of those musky notes, you know, it really sticks to you. And the stillage is moderate, not too big, not too small, so nice and general kind of perfume. Now the next Jean Patou fragrance, which is actually one of my favorites, is Sublime. Here, in a nice yellow card. Even the liquid here is kind of golden. This fragrance came out in 1992, so it's, you know, much more modern compared to Joy. And it also is very unique compared to most other Jean Patou fragrances. I would say it's completely different from Joy, and it's completely different from 1000. Mainly, I'll put it on my other wrist here, over here. The main difference is that it's very citrusy and refreshing, very light. It reminds me of, I don't know, sunshine or something. It's just so bright and citrusy and but there is a sweetness, not just from the citrus, but from a variety of things. There's some orange blossom in there, which is very detectable, rose, lily of the valley. Then there's some musk and amber, but the thing about Sublime is the musk, it's not too detectable. I would not consider this a musky fragrance. Even as it dries, even over the hours, this is still just a light and citrusy fragrance with those floral notes in there to lighten it up. And I would almost say there's pine, notes of pine, even though it's supposedly not on the list, but it has a nice woodiness, it has a nice citrusy note, and those orange blossoms are really prominent. And overall, it reminds me of spring or summer, you know, just kind of, it's a nice warm, light fragrance. And it's better for daytime rather than the evening, I would say. And, I mean, this is one of my favorite Jean Patou fragrances, just because it has, you know, all those notes kind of mixed together. It's a really uplifting sort of fragrance and unique. I haven't really come across any other perfumes that are similar to this one, not even those, you know, other than Jean Patou perfumes. So overall, this is a really good perfume. Longevity is really, really good. It can last probably 7 to 8 hours without fading. And the sillage is also pretty moderate. I would say the sillage is a bit stronger than Joy, surprisingly enough. It kind of emanates more, I think, but because it isn't too musky, it isn't overpowering, so you could probably douse yourself in Sublime and not have to worry about being, you know, too overpowering or anything. So the last one is called 1000 here, and there are some mixed reviews about 1000. I believe it originally came out in 1971 or 72, sometime in the 70s. And for that reason, in the 1970s they produced a lot of musky perfumes. That was just what was popular. And you could definitely tell that with 1000 here, which is immediately a very musky fragrance. And one that continues to get muskier as you wear it. Let me see, I'll put it on, I guess, the back of my hand. So I personally don't dislike nor like this fragrance. And a lot of people seem to have that kind of feeling about this perfume, because this sort of musk isn't for everyone. It's very forward, it's very strong, it's almost masculine, which again was kind of popular in the 70s, those more masculine scents for women. And there are mainly, besides the musk, notes of wood, some floral fragrances, but they're not too strong, not really any sweetness, just a lot of musk, maybe some amber, yeah, mainly that. And there is a bit of sharpness, even possibly a bit of civet, which is reminiscent of Chanel No. 5, but this is to a lesser degree. And it is similar, quite similar to Joy, except for the fact that the musk notes are definitely stronger, more forward. So Joy is a more delicate and refined scent. The 1000 is more of a in-your-face kind of scent, more of a rugged scent. So for that reason, this is a perfume that you don't need to use a lot of, otherwise you would just like blast this musk as if you were a deer out in the forest or something. But used in moderation, this can be kind of a rustic, you know, perfume, I suppose. And it isn't for everybody because of that, you know, it's kind of a sharp, not sweet at all, sort of perfume. So it really would gravitate towards people who really enjoy kind of dry, musky scents. It reminds me almost of the forest floor covered in dried leaves, very similar to that. And interestingly, the sillage isn't too strong, unless of course you put a lot on. mainly average or even less than average sillage. And the longevity, I would also say, is a bit moderate, probably a bit less than either Joy or Sublime, maybe around 6 hours. But other than that, it is a good fragrance for those who like kind of a drier, crisper, kind of musky scent. Even men might even like 1000 because it is so musky and kind of that, you know, dry. Almost like an aftershave, not quite as fresh, but you know, something similar to that. So for that reason, it is it certainly has its own charm in the Jean Patou fragrance family. So those are the three Jean Patou fragrances, and I like all of them for the most part. Sublime is my favorite. I would say Joy is my second favorite, and then 1000. But of course, everyone's different. Everyone's nose is different. Some people might not like any of them. Some people might like all 3 of them. So it all depends on the nose. So that's all I have to say about these Jean Patou fragrances. If you have anything to say about these perfumes or any other Jean Patou fragrances, you can leave a comment down below. Leave a like if you like the video, maybe subscribe, and I make videos throughout the week, so stick around for those.